The Denver Broncos just got the news that a lot of us were hoping for. I am very happy to report that Senior Bowl practices are underway down in Mobile, Alabama, and the player that the Denver Broncos have had their eye on and Broncos country has had their eye on since the beginning of this draft process is standing out in a big way, and that is Tez Johnson, the wide receiver out of Oregon, and more importantly, Bo Nix's adopted brother. Johnson is a little bit of a controversial player coming out of this draft because of his small frame. He actually clocked in a little bit smaller than we thought he would. He clocked in at 5'9" and 156 pounds down in Mobile, which was the third lightest player in Senior Bowl history. But he plays a lot bigger than that, and that showed in these practices. Despite his size, he was still able to fight through press coverage, be physical at the stem of his routes, even against a good press corner in Azariah Johnson out of Florida State, one of the best press corners in this draft. So that's a really encouraging sign if you want the Broncos to draft Tez Johnson. He was physical at the stem of his route, able to fight through contact, something that you wanted to see out of him in these practices. He was crisp and he was clean coming out of his breaks. There was no wasted movement. There was no hesitancy or delay coming out of his cuts or his breaks. He's an excellent separator. We've known that for a long time. Tez Johnson is a guy who figures to be a really good slot receiver in the NFL. He's got the skill set that translates, and the Denver Broncos have been looking for a slot receiver, a guy who can really generate consistent separation, a guy who can be a solid route runner. They've been looking for that guy for a long time. They've had guys at the wide receiver position step up in various ways. Marvin Mims has shown some of this, but I do feel like they still need somebody who can be more consistent in terms of being crisp and clean as a route runner, and Tez Johnson would fit that bill perfectly. Then you combine that with Bo Nix and him already having that chemistry from their time at Oregon, from their time together in high school. They already know where each other's going to be at any given time. Bo knows how Tez likes to come out of his breaks, where he's going to stop, where he's going to sit down in zone coverage, and that's all huge. They're going to have to rekindle that chemistry after being away from each other from a year, but that should take no time at all given the fact that they're literally adopted brothers. They should be on the same page just naturally. So I have no worry at all about that chemistry being able to be rekindled. The chemistry between Bo Nix and Troy Franklin at Oregon did not translate at the NFL level, but there were a lot of red flags with Troy Franklin coming out of the draft. I saw people thinking he was going to go in the second round, and he ends up dropping all the way to the fourth. I had some very valid concerns about Franklin's route running coming out, and that is not a concern that I have at all with Tez Johnson. I think Johnson is a much better prospect than Troy Franklin was coming out of the University of Oregon. And with the chemistry that he has with Bo Nix, I think that he could be an excellent fit here in Denver, and Sean Payton could find a lot of different creative ways to use him. So really good news if you are in the pro-draft Tez Johnson camp for the Denver Broncos. Alright guys, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel, and until next time guys, I'm your host Gage Madrid, saying peace out.